people are. I'm just curious of like what will be the cutoff, because I feel like it's a no-brainer the Big 12 is going to expand. But my question is, especially for like the Houston side of things, is how many? Because if it's only 2, I don't know that Houston makes that cut. I mean, in terms of where are they valued? Are they looked at as, I think BYU is probably the most valued brand they're looking at. But then where does Houston compare to UCF? And if it's only 2, then you got to cut bait somewhere. But if it's 4, then I think they're probably in that group of 4 pretty safely.
Yeah, I would. The only thing is, say the top 5 are in whatever order: BYU, Memphis, UCF, Houston, Cincinnati. Those are your guys. Well, you get to determine whether you go add Houston because they're in such a big market and it helps you in Texas a little bit, or you'd say, we should add Cincinnati because that puts us in a different spot. That's what it's going to come down to if it's 4. If it's 4, I agree with you. They're probably in a good spot.
Yeah, I would think Houston probably makes the cut at 4, but 2, then that gets a little bit more dicey. And even 4 would be kind of interesting because, again, this is not a report. This is just talking. If it is UCF and BYU, who would those other 2 teams be? Like, do you take Houston over Memphis, or do you take Houston over Cincinnati, or potentially any of the other teams that have been mentioned as well? That would be really interesting to know kind of what their range is. And, you even have people that go crazy with the theories on, add 8, make it 16, and that would be wild as well.
There's Caden Grace is the one that sent me that lengthy. It was really a really well done, almost a documentary email to me, and I really appreciated it. He just texted. He goes, by the way, when you hear about legal rumors, there are no such things as legal rumors. Litigation is documented by filing briefs and many assorted documents to start the ball rolling. It is all very public and verifiable when anyone reports that there are any kind of legal rumors. Not that we did, but that a couple of things were brought up in the chat room as well. Paul?
All right, won't have too much time because we got a lot of guests today to take phone calls, so let's go right now. Chris in Missouri, you're on Sick'em 365 Radio.
Hey, guys, got a quick question for you. This should be pointed at all 8 of the remaining Big 12 teams, but I think it's kind of Baylor-centric. Should Baylor press Bowlesby to increase the buyout for the remaining 8 schools? The reason I ask is because Baylor built McLean Stadium in 2014, and that was $226 million. I'm sure some of the other stadiums around the remaining 8 have to be refurbished or maybe rebuilt, and that's going to be a huge burden if the Big 12 contract isn't there in a couple years. I just want to know what you think, because I'm thinking you'd almost have to press to $100 million, for the buyout, because you can't do anything about the guarantee of rights till you get a new contract. But what do you think? Thanks.
Chris, thanks for your call. Look, Kansas is redoing their football stadium right now. They've already got the money for it. TCU just did theirs. Baylor just did theirs. I don't know. Kansas State and Iowa State, I don't think they necessarily need them. Iowa State did.
There's always somebody tinkering. But we know what UT's
Iowa
doing.
State just did a big upgrade like about a decade ago or something like that. So they're always tinkering. Jones AT&T Stadium has done a couple different things. I'm sure they would love a facelift if they could get one. So I think most of the teams in the Big 12 stadiums are pretty current. That happened. Look here, actually the one who was behind the 8 ball is one of the ones that was leaving, and that was DKR. As big as it was, they're behind. When you look at most of these SEC stadiums, they were behind. They had to do some things. So
they've added, and don't think A&M redoing theirs didn't ring some bells, and now they've got that new end zone where the offices are, and the big longhorn that they lit up like a firecracker. Paul, stop.
That's what it is.
They're apparently finishing another remodel, right? They've been redoing all that, and I feel like they did that like 5 years ago, but I guess that's the game of college football nowadays. But you're not going to the buyout point, you can't retroactively increase the buyout money and say, no, actually you owe us this much. That's a nice idea, but the figure is the figure contractually, so I don't think there's anything that you could actually do about that.
All right, 254-339-1122.